all flags lesbians and flags churches. As you burn with the rest for human waste, so shall you burn in hell as waste. Hell is God. This church is, I don't understand how this is a church. Because they always have something up here that's like, I know you're videoing me. But they always have it right. Look, everybody taking pictures of this. This is crazy. The one that's on 123rd and Lennox. They always got something crazy up here. The blood of Jesus. Why do they put this stuff?
Every week he has a new message for the flock.
My name is James David Manning, and I'm the pastor here of this church, of the Outlaw World Missionary Church. I'm also the host of the Manning Report. So I think the major sense of notoriety happened back in 2008 when I referred to Barack Hussein Obama as a long-legged Mac Daddy, and that his mother was white trash, and that he was ill-equipped to be the president of the United States. And even prior to that, I think some sense of notoriety happened back in 2006 or 7 when I called a 3-year boycott of the community that was known as Harlem, or known as Harlem. I called for the community to boycott all the businesses in the community for 3 years. That landed me in the New York Times and on several major newspapers as well. This business of the sign announcement board is certainly much later down the track of notoriety.
My name is Stacy Parker Lamel. I've now lived in Harlem for 7 years. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, and I'm a writer and a teacher of creative writing, and I'm also a mom. I have a 5-year-old son, and I'm his primary caregiver. So when I first moved to the street, 123rd Street in Harlem, Outlaw Missionary Church was there, and they had a very large sign on the corner of 123rd and Lenox. And then that was right in the beginning of the Democratic primaries, right prior, so in 2007. I've worked in politics, and I'm an American. I'm used to, ideas of free speech and free political speech. And even though when he would start putting up signs attacking, then President Obama, saying that he wasn't born in this country and saying all kinds of terrible things about him, I would sigh, I'd get up, inside I'd get upset, but then I'd know, well, there's not a lot you can really do about it. He has a right to say these things, even if they're wrong. We in the community had been used to a lot of signs that went up that attacked Black people, that attacked the president, that attacked different leaders. But last March, so it was in 2014, there was a sign that went up that said, Jesus would stone homos, and then on the bottom, stoning is still the law.
My name is Reverend Vanessa Brown, and I am the senior pastor of Rivers of Living Water, New York and New Jersey. The church is a radically inclusive, affirming church for all people. It is predominantly LGBT, but we do have people that are straight, non-gender conforming. We have people from all ethnicities, all walks of life that attend the church. So I don't believe that I started the church as an LGBT church. I believe that I attract who I am. And so because I identify as a lesbian woman, to me, quite naturally, people will start to draw to the church that are LGBTQI.
I identify them as perverts. I identify them as lowlifes, as demon-possessed people, which they definitely are. They're not human. They are possessed by this wicked spirit that tells them that they ought to man with man love, that men ought to love each other's anus, that they ought to kiss it, that they ought to be infatuated with the anus of other men or the sexual eroticism of other men, and women the same thing, that it's unnatural, it doesn't produce any children, it's against the whole grade of nature and the universe. Nothing in the universe agrees with sodomy, nothing agrees with homosexuality.
I believe in their right to have a sign that says whatever it is they want to say and express their opinion regarding what they believe in. And I feel that it is part of the Constitution of the United States of America that allows them to do it. And for those people who don't appreciate the sign or whatever the church is about, then they can go start their own church or go to another church. There's 3 or 4 churches right on this block. Go to another one.
Normally, I would never think to go tell a church that they should do X, Y, or Z, or that they should somehow be like me. It goes against how I am. I just feel that they really crossed the line when they went so public with something so murderous.
Obviously, it's a disgrace. It's deplorable to have to look at. And I know that he's exercising his First Amendment rights, but I also feel that it is egregious towards our community. Those that have already been wounded and hurt by the church, it opens up fresh wounds. Some of the signs that he has put up has incited other folks to violence against the LGBT community.
What would you tell somebody that have a slow mind by reading this and you do not indulge violence? You do not indulge. This is those kind of messages. This is what make people be so violent, and people don't want to listen. What do you want to learn a youth that's coming up?
I felt like it's been a countdown until when my son can really learn to read signs on the street. He's going to look at the sign and ask, what does that mean?
I just really think that it's weird how a church kind of has such like inappropriate language about like a certain group of people. You wouldn't expect it from a church because it's kind of religious and accepting of everyone.
The words that I use are biblical terms. They're legal to be used. They are not words from another planet. They are words that describe a behavior. For instance, if someone raped you in the streets and I came and tried to help you, do you think I should say to that person, "Oh, please, sir, mister, can I have your attention, please, sir? Would you please stop harming this woman?" Should I use words like that? Or should I say, "Get your you-know-what off of this woman now, I'll break your neck"? Which is more appropriate?
I don't want to try to speak about what I believe that he's thinking. What I do know is that he was previously incarcerated. This might be a part of whatever his experiences are that he's attaching to the entire LGBT community. I also know that he's a graduate of New York, of Union Theological Seminary. And I know that that's not something that they teach.
It's so hurtful that we have neighbors who act this way and they're proud of it and they want to display it.
They think that they have the power to shut me down, to make me take down that announcement board, which is never going to happen, obviously.
Instead of direct protest, what we could do was pick an organization and raise money for them. And so try to take something hateful like those words and create something positive out of it. And so we picked the Ali Fernay Center here in Harlem. They help homeless LGBTQ youth, the most vulnerable victims of this kind of hate speech. They're kids, often of color, who've been kicked out of their homes because their parents, due to their religious beliefs, feel that they should disown them. We're a small time operation. We're just volunteers working together to do this, but we've raised $17,000 over the year. I think maybe it affects me a lot because I'm also the workshop director for the Afghan Women's Writing Project, and they know what stoning is. This isn't something that's in the Stone Ages for many people in the world. You say something like, Jesus would stone homos and stoning is still the law. A lot of people want to just laugh it off because it's so horrible. You said, what can you do but laugh it off? But for some people, that's a possibility to really happen to them. For gay people in our city, they're getting beaten up. They're getting murdered in the streets. It's maybe not happening every second, but it's happening. It's part of your consciousness.
I don't know if it's a misguided over adherence to Christian dogma, self-interpretation based on personal experiences. So he kind of focuses the words to give his point of view to try to instill that into his other followers. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's basically what major religion has been overall since the beginning.
It's not inclusive, and I think we all have the same rights.
I think that it's really sad because there's no love in that. And I think that God is love, so that's very sad.
Well, I love. I love. I'm full of love. I'm the biggest lover you ever want to find anywhere at any time. I love God. I love humanity. I love America. I'm a lover, so I guess that qualifies me.